Be Your Best University. We are talking about investments, talk BYB investments, taking it to the next level. Did you miss Deepseek? Did you miss XRP? It don't matter because we got one of our experts here that's taking you to the next level, talking about the information that you need, that you didn't need to graduate to college to learn, that you have a phone right now that you accessing, and you can transform your life through investing not only in yourself through this knowledge, but through investing yourself through your money. One thing my brother is always saying is, my brother IQ Heavy always says, they always try to scare you out the market. They're always trying to shake you out the game. You got to stand on some business. You got to stand for something or fall for anything. Introducing our featured guest today, my good brother, and also my former neighbor, my neighbor for life. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta be able to take care of your neighbors. You know what I'm talking about? And they'll take care of you. My good brother Ivan Smith. Talk to my bro. Talk to my bro. Give my bro a round of applause wherever you are.
How you doing, people? How the people doing?
Good, good,
I say
good,
how the people doing.
good, good.
I hope y'all ain't out there getting FOMO, based off of what you're seeing out there in the markets. Everybody looking for the next casino move.
Uh-huh. Talk to them, man. Talk to them. Why is it looking like a casino out there? Why are we so trained to be on that casino mindset, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, we've been in a struggle for a long time, so everybody got to get rich quick because we try and get to the next level. But there's
Uh-huh.
ways to, but there's ways to get to the next level. I know it's boring, but it's investing. And at the end of the day, it just takes a dollar to go make another dollar. You ain't got to go out there and keep making the dollars. Use your mind, not your body.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love what you were talking about too with that too. Your mind, not your body, because it's the right investment. Is too often we are making the wrong investment, putting ourselves on the risk, not making our money an employee for ourselves and putting it to work. So talk to the people. What are some of the ways that in terms of being your best? Because again, our focus today is if they miss Deepseek and if they miss some XRP plays. So really, I know even XRP, there's been a lot of talk around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But we want to kind of break it down. What is
yeah, we
XRP? Why should
yeah
they
we could
get
de-
involved with
we
that?
could de- we could definitely dive into XRP. Yeah, XRP. You didn't actually miss XRP. Just today, we got news with XRP being incorporated into the Swift network. That's the payment network that's been around since the 1970s. They haven't upgraded, so now they're finally going to upgrade. So as much as the speculation that you hear people talking about XRP going to $100, it's actually not a speculation. It's actually going to go pretty high. It just won't do it in a short time frame. So this is where the education in the market comes into play with knowing not to be fearful when they're greedy and knowing not to be greedy to flip to the other side and go to that. You play in the puts. It's like options. So I would tell people in this situation with XRP, if you noticed, it came down to about 220. I think it even came so far down to about $2. It did touch 178, but that's a buying opportunity because the way the elite work is when they want to get into an asset, they'll lower the value to make it cheaper. So that way, when they come in, they can buy cheap XRP or cheap Bitcoin or cheap Ethereum, whatever the play might be inside the digital space. The same playbook plays inside the stock market as well. So a lot of times you'll hear the news will put out Jeff Bezos sold $100 million worth of his stock. But what people don't realize is he get paid in stock compensation. So he's only taking money from the stock based off of the compensation for him making money, but he puts that money back into the company. So it's almost like a loophole. So this is what you hear when people say, "Oh, they did a buyback," and you're like, What was that?" That's exactly what a buyback is. They took the money that they made from the company in the form of shares, liquidated it, took the money, went and got a loan with the money, and then put that money in back into their own stock to pump the price.
Man,
So
man, break it down. Keep breaking it down. That's good.
so when you know these type of things happen, it's called market manipulation. What you want to do is not get shaken out of the market in that situation. So XRP, yeah, it came down, but it's going to go back up. It'll break $4 to $7 in the next 6 months for sure. That's based off of it being connected to Bitcoin now on the back end of a bull run that we're about to go into. But more importantly, XRP has its own ability to keep running on the rails because it's incorporated with IBM, Bank of America, over 10,000 banks in Japan. They all using XRP. So in the next weeks and months to come, XRP will actually go to about, like I said, $5 to $7. And then with the fear of missing out, they'll push it to about 10. It'll come back down. And this is where you got to have the discipline not to be shaken out. Because yes, it'll go to 10 and you'll be very, very anxious to sell. But I would be more pressed to say take profits there versus sell the whole position. So that way when it comes back down to maybe the $4 and $5 range, you can buy more. Because it's that next time that it goes back up, it'll break that $10 range and go into the next area of discovery, is what they call it, price discovery. So then it'll go to about 7 to 10, then 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100. The asset will start to double. And that's when you can make a lot of money doing that, jumping into XRP when you see it down. So anytime you see red, you should get in knowing that it's eventually going to flip to green. Change the mindset of going, I'm going to get in when it's green. Because every time you get in when it's green, it's going to run for a little bit, but you won't know exactly when to get out. So it'll sell off on you. You'll lose the money. You'll be upset. You'll take profits. You'll sell, which is the way people lose. And then eventually you'll come back weeks later. You'll see it's up 3 times higher than where you just sold out at, and you'll be like, "Why didn't I just hold?" So that's where the mental discipline comes in, with
That's it right there.
understanding that it's just a time thing. It's not about timing the market, just
That's it
time
right there.
in the market.
Wow. Wow, bro. You just hit it right on the head, bro, right there, man. It's like being able to have that mental discipline, just waiting, and emotional intelligence is everything, man. That's critical. That's critical. What are some of the ways that you've mastered that in the market, or some of the ways that the Beehive, the BYB Hive, can master that as they take themselves to the next level? If you don't mind us asking.
Well, it's I guess starting out, a lot of people don't like charts. So I guess it's more, I would say for me, it's more technical based. However, as far as introducing it to someone just coming in, I would say more so make it practical. Like a lot of times people feel like they don't know what to invest in. Where should I put my money? How do I start? And I tell people, well, you're actually an expert at the market. You just don't realize you're an expert yet.
Mm.
I say, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you might do? Most people will say use the bathroom. Obviously, most people use the bathroom. But when you're getting prepared to leave out, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you use hygiene products. So I tell people, all you have to do is research companies that are in the hygiene space and realize that that company is going to keep making money for days on end.
Mm.
And then you invest there and give yourself a good time horizon, not 6 months, not 2 weeks. It's not the casino. Give yourself about 3 to 5 years and you'll make a great return. Once you make that return, you can do the same process. This is where it gets fun. If you put in a couple $1,000s and you get to about 10 or 15 off of the process, when you do that next process, you'll get to about 30 to 40. When you
Mm.
repeat that process, you'll get to 100 to 150. It's just doing the process, because each time you do it, you'll get to a new hurdle.
That's big. That's big, bro. That's big, bro. Dropping that knowledge in that college, and 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 now I want us to relate even how the market has is the industry is playing out as it relates to particular these different plays. Whether we're talking Palantir, whether we're talking XRP, whether we're talking Deepseek, whether we're talking Nvidia. What are some of those interconnectedness, specifically with XRP and Deepseek? what effects have they had on the market, especially with that recent big devaluation with Nvidia that happened over the last couple of weeks?
Well, that's exactly what it was, just a scare. What you got to never let the market do is shake you out. So in these situations, you always have to remain calm, which is easier said than done. Obviously, you might have a lot of money in the market, so I understand. You see your portfolio start sliding, you like, what the? I'm not about to just sit still. It's always inclined to feel the pressure, so you will hit the button. But you have to understand who fares to benefit if you hit the button, because the market is a shark world. You buy and someone's losing. You sell and someone's winning. It's always someone's going to be on the other side of that trade. So you got to understand when the market starts sliding like that, you have to assess what is actually going on around you. So after they assessed it, they realized that it wasn't what they said it was. It couldn't do what they thought it could do. And actually, NVIDIA and ChatGPT are actually still better products. So as you notice, the market has recovered and rebounded. To give an example, it's like when Jensen was on stage. I don't know if anybody's seen when he was at the CES conference, and he said AI is like quantum computing is 20 years away. All the quantum computing stocks immediately dropped, tank 30-40%.
Yeah, I
A,
remember that.
a week later, I believe OpenAI or it was Google that said they're like a year away from full autonomy. Having the ability to use the quantum. This is with the Willow chip that just came out, where they're talking about the quantum compute that had the ability to possibly break the encryption on Bitcoin, allegedly. But that news sparked the wave for everything to go back up, because that's all it was just news. But remember, this is where the emotional part comes. If they could get you to move off of excitement, they know they can get you to move off of fear. You want to move off of fundamentals. Is this a good company? How does their balance sheet look? What does their PE look like? Which is their earnings versus how much money they're making versus how much money they're spending. So what is their actual income? Some companies are, they call them zombie companies. They're in the market. They don't actually make any money. They're just losing money quarter over quarter. However, they do buybacks and things of these natures that allow them to still stay afloat. So from the eye, if you're looking at the price, it might be a situation where you're more caught up with, oh, it's at $5, so it looks like a good play. But the company might sit there for the next 6 years and go nowhere, because it's not actually making money, it's just losing money slow. So
Mm,
this is why the fundamentals come into play. So you want to make sure you actually know what the company is doing, know if they're making money year over year, know what their growth is, know what their guidance is, know what they plan to do, know what they've been doing. Check the previous 5 years. If it's a new company, it's kind of like think of it like a new rapper on the scene. It's speculative.
mm.
We got rappers that come out, they be really hot, and they die the next week. And I don't mean it like figuratively. I mean literally, they get killed. So
Good.
you want to go with things like a Jay-Z, a Nas, things that are like, stapled and rooted in the community. So it's the same thing with stocks. You're looking at like an Amazon, you're looking at an Apple, you're looking at a Google, you're looking at a Meta. These things won't be fun off the rip, and they cost a little bit more than the average stock. But these are the things that will keep making money into the future, which is the goal.
Right.
To invest in things that are going to make you money.
That's it, man. That's it. That's it. I think it's big. Really, that's the connection I see, right? So XRP is one that the market is evaluating. Deepseek was one that the market is evaluating and seeing whether or not it's something to invest in, and ultimately whether it's hype, whether it's them trying to scare you off the trail. It's ultimately for you to stand on your business, stand on your technical, stand on your fundamentals, and stand in the game. That's definitely something that the BYB hive needs to hear as they're taking their investments to the next level. In order to be their best, they have to be able to take control of that emotional intelligence, especially in that moment. And so that's kind of where I want to ask that question: is what are some of the ways that you maintain your emotional intelligence through those different scares that happen in the market, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, I've took a lot of losses. Realize the losses is a lesson. So what did you do wrong? What could you have
Yeah,
done better?
that's straight up, bro.
More of analyzing what you did, why you did it, and how you could do better the next time you run into the situation. So when you do that repeatedly, you'll run into a situation where you start winning a lot more trades than you're losing due to the emotional ability to control emotions. Because if you're out of control with your emotions, you'll make decisions based off of them. So in the market, you want to be more disciplined versus emotional. So it's more of a, if it does this, I'm going to do that. If it does that, I'm going to do this. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is you want to make sure you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you know how the saying goes, plan to fail.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely. It almost got caught in that, or really got caught in that bear trap, Nvidia bear trap for a little bit. But then, to your point, I had to cut the loss, caught the train the other way. You know, it felt like it was a New York subway.
I can give us some levels on XRP. Taking a look at it right now, um, just to give some confidence to the people. Like if you know you're looking at XRP, I tell people to go zoom out to give higher time frames so you can see exactly what it's doing. So like right now, just to give clarity, if you was on the 15-minute time frame, it would look very scary. All you see is a lot of red, even looking like it's about to trend lower, coming down to about $2.22. But these are buying opportunities, is what I'm trying to explain to people, because the upside potential is a 10x from here. It has the ability to go 10x from here. So you didn't actually lose or miss anything. But when you zoom out on the higher time frames and you look on the monthly, we're green on the monthly. We're looking to make a breakout to about $6.84. That's the target number three. Our first target is $3.66. Our next target is $5.25. Our third target is $6.84. That's on the monthly time frame. So within a month or two, expect a nice big move on XRP to the upside. So if you want to get into the market, I would recommend buying it currently now and averaging in, because you want to buy in threes, 33% at a time. So that way you get the average of the price. So at that point, you'll have XRP where it might even come back down to about 160. So I wouldn't rush right into it. I give it some time, but XRP is looking really good on the charts.
That's
So it's
good, bro.
definitely gonna clear the $6 zone.
No, that's good, bro. And I love what you just broke down that charting aspect. That's something that's very new to the BYB community, you know. And so I'll break it down for the people. What are some of the ways to improve your charting? What are some of the things that you look at when you chart, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah. So starting out, you want to look at the company based off of years. So if a company hasn't been around for 5 to 10 years, you really don't have a good chart to go off of, because you don't have enough repeat patterns to really see what it can do or where it came from to see what the potential is. Because most real estate, not real estate, sorry, retail, they do more investing off of a speculation and, hype. And the way big money kind of invests is they're more about, did you prove it? So they're waiting about 10 years to show that you're worth the value that they're going to put into the company.
That's good.
So in these situations, I guess to start out with charting, you'd want to know the averages. So you want to know the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, the 100-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and figure out how the stock moves. So when you look back over the longer time frames, you pull up a couple of years, you're looking back, and you see, what I notice is that it bounces every time it hits this 200-day moving average. So now you have a thesis in your mind around, if it comes back to this 200, I should probably start buying some stuff, buying shares around this point. And it's gonna bounce and go up. And if you notice that it does it around the 50 or the 100 or the 20, whichever area you can identify the trend, it becomes your friend and you take full advantage of it.
That's big. That's big. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. That's one thing that I'm seeing more is the key is just momentum trading, catching the momentum of the trade as opposed to fighting the trend. What are some of the
I think you,
ways?
you mentioned NVIDIA, right?
Yes, sir. Talk to us.
Yeah, I got you. I'll give you a chart for them real quick. So I take the NVIDIA, put it on a 1 month time chart. I'm looking at it. It's looking like it wants to come down, take a breather. But remember, we're using the moving averages. So right at the moving average, it's not saying it'll come here, but it's possible. $94.40 is where I would look to pick up NVIDIA on a monthly time frame. But now I'm giving it a line. I'm gonna chart it out there. I'm gonna come down to the weekly. On the weekly, I too would still bring it down a little bit. So being that I'm getting the confluence on both the monthly and the weekly, I'll go to the daily. And I'm looking for volume in the chart. I'm looking for RSI, meaning oversold or overbought. I'm also looking at the trend. So over the last week, due to the AI pullback, the trend is basically has been sell. So since the 27th of January, the trend's been sell. So even if you buy it, you should be shorting it because it's only going to keep making attempts to break out. But in order for it to actually go somewhere, we need to see it break uh, above 135.37. And it got a hold. We want it to close above 139, to be honest. We close above 139, I know we're out of the woods. And then we can go off to the races. Until we close above 139, Nvidian is bearish.
That's big. That's good.
So the first targets I would target is 104. The next target I would target is 88. The last target I'd target is 73. But again, I always look to the trend. So I'll come back to the top, pause. I'll look at where I see it at, and I'll look on the daily and I'll set up the levels. So then as I zoom in, as I'm zooming out, you start to see levels. So what I could tell you is it bounced off of 101.23 aggressively to get back to the upside. The time before that, it bounced from 91.90 And remember when we were speaking before, I told you the levels was all the way down to 90. So the confluence is there's no coincidences in this. We called out 90 before we even got the ability to check the chart to go back into the past. This is from 2024. I'm looking at August right now. So
Mm.
when I'm looking at the 5th of August of 2024 to see that it came back down to touch 90 before it wanted to get aggressive and go back to the upside. So when we're looking at the levels, the one above that level was actually 100. So when we look at the other confluence and see that it could come back down to 101, and I'm telling you that it looks like a bearish trend, don't fight the trend.
Right.
So you look for it to revisit that area if it hasn't already. So you come back and you look at your shorts and you go, oh, you know what? Guess what? On February 3rd, it basically revisited that trend, came back down, gave it the same aggressive bottom, but it was at a higher high. So each time we are actually getting a higher high. So this is actually basically a bullish divergence in this situation because even though the trend looks to appear to be down, it's a higher low. So it went from 90 to 100 to 113. These are bottoms, but these are highs. So with us understanding that now, we're looking to put in a new high as well as a new low. So now it will be bullish. But we want to go bullish once we break at least 133, 133, 134, and you're super bullish for the trend to continue. Until then, you're in a chop zone because you might come back down from retesting this 128 to come back down one more time to retest that 115, 113 area. So that's how you do the bounce there. You just wait on that to come back down, jump in at that price, get you some leaps, or get you some 40-day, 30-day out contracts. If not, you want to buy the share straight up, buy the share straight up.
That's big, bro. That's big, bro. Talking that real talk. And I definitely I think a big one we got to talk about is Palantir. If we can
Oh,
do the chart for
hmm
Palantir, they had a big week this week. If you could also review them, that'd be cool.
of course, my baby Palantir. I've been in Palantir since about 9. Well, they're up to about 103, but we got a nice gap when I opened up on the daily. So always be cautious when we got gaps, right? So looking at Palantir on the daily, she gapped up from about, want to say, she gapped up from about 83 to get where she currently is now. So we have a big gap to fill to the downside. So I'm actually anticipating her to fall to about $76 on the daily, though. I'll confirm it now. What going through the weekly? Well, I got a breakout on the weekly, so let me give it a confluence on the monthly. All right, and we're talking about Palantir right now for anybody tuning in. So on Palantir on the monthly, she topped out at about, or she wicked out at about 114, but she topped out at about 110. So we want to look at the weekly now, see where it came from. She's got a lot of, well, not a lot. She's got good support around 78. So if she's actually going to go hold where she currently is trying to go, which is actually to about 140, she's going to need to come back down and get some more strength through that support area. It's just what I believe, but I'm going to chart it out for you. So we'll go to the daily. On a daily, I'm looking at a gap. I got a gap all the way down to about 78 or 83, sorry. But she has the ability to fall to about 76 for the first target. So we go to the 4 hour. She doesn't have any. She's got a little bit of support, but most of her support is sitting around 83.95. So she's more likely than none to come back down to revisit the 83 just to establish the support and make sure that that's the resistance, or that's not the resistance and that's the support, because it broke through that area to get to where it currently is. She made a bull flag. She kept going, continued to make a little bit of continuation due to price discovery mode. So she looks like she topped out at about 116, actually 116.82, 115. And she's looking to consolidate currently here. But again, the market sentiment around this time, using February as our catalyst, we usually will be down all the way until about the 12th of this month. So that you can actually mark that on your calendars, guys. If you look at, and ladies as well, if you look at the 12th of this month and you set up your buys that day, prepare to go green the 13th and the 14th for the rest of the month, all the way out to about, I would say, April. Market has swings and cycles, ebbs and flows. So what we'll be looking for is liquidity coming from the Fed when they do finally get back to do their March meeting, I believe it is. So yeah, Palantir right now, we will look for Palantir to come back down, and we will buy the dip when she gets back down to about $92, or roughly, yeah. I'm a buyer at 92. If we're being honest, I wouldn't touch her right now with the way she's looking. Not saying she can't potentially make another push to the upside, but at that point, I think we're looking at a bear trap. I mean, a bull trap. So everybody's going to FOMO into it, and then she's going to correct, and she's going to take a lot of people with her.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, because our side is definitely overextended. And talk to us too about some of the indicators that you use to kind of dictate or to predict the flow of the particular charts or the particular assets that you're looking at. If you don't mind us asking.
Yeah, not a problem. Get some on list for you guys. She got a little list for y'all. Some of the indicators that most people, you don't really need a lot of them. I tell people, I guess I don't wouldn't want you to get too caught up on the indicators more so. You want to get more so thinking about the volume, price action, and pricing power. And what I mean by that is companies who have the ability to raise their price, like an Apple or a Google, at their point, their level, they have a certain a moat. So there's no competition for them to some extent. They have the ability to dictate the markets how they so see fit, and everybody has to bend to their will. But what I use particularly, depending on your setting, obviously, if you're looking at a penny stock, anything below 100 million market cap or 10 to 20 million market cap, you want to use the RSI, which is the relative strength index. It lets you know if a company's oversold or overbought. If it's over 70, they're overbought. If it's below 30, they're oversold. So at that point, they might be a bargain deal being below 30, and there'll be an expensive deal being at above 70. That's why you get the corrections when you see things go above 70. They sell off till they get back down to the lower areas of the 30s. Then you got your VWAP, which is your volume weighted average price. So whenever a stock falls below the VWAP, you can add the VWAP and wait for it to get back. Well, I won't say wait for it. You could play it to get back to that position. So if you see something is 13% below the VWAP line, you have the ability now to jump in and make 13% just for it coming back to the VWAP line. And after that, I would just say looking at your EMAs. So that's your exponential moving averages. So your 9, your 15, you're 13. But these indicators are things that I would say look into so you understand how they work, because it's basically just an average of where these stocks or cryptos fall to. So it gives you a level so that way you understand where to trade and have a zone.
Oh, that's good.
And
That's good.
I would say a lot of other ones I would have for you guys is more like depending on where you're at in the trading aspect of where you're at. So you got your stop losses, your limit sells, catalysts, earning, limit buys, PE ratios, revenue, profits, ROI, cash flow, margins, moat, your competition. Obviously, I said price and power, chart patterns, levels, you know, your yield, low risk trades, high risk trades. You want to make sure you have a strategic setup because you're looking for high probability setups in these situations. And to give an example of a high probability setup in layman's terms, you don't wait for it to snow to go buy a shovel. That's a low probability setup because when you go to buy a shovel and then it's snowing already, everyone else might already have bought in the shovel. And I say that meaning, it's December time. You know it's coming, you didn't get one. You waited till it happened, and then now you want to make a move. But everybody already made the move prior. So if you made the move prior, that was a high probability setup. Because even if you didn't need it, you could sell it back to somebody who did somewhere else. That's how I said it's just arbitrage. So I tell a
That's
person,
good.
like, well, what if I bought a shovel and it don't snow? Now I just bought the shovel. I said, well, be a little more creative. You can't go online and see if there's somebody else who needs a shovel somewhere else in another part of the world. Maybe you sell it for more than what you bought it for. Gotta think outside the box.
Mm. That's it. Love. There was actually a bar that you dropped. I think that's definitely very relevant. You know what I mean? Because you said, and it really reminded us. Because again, we're talking about writing grants right now, right? What my bro has just described for the entire live is ways to write grants for yourself, right? We're out here applying and for different jobs, waiting for people to hear back and sending resumes instead of hitting play ourselves and using that phone that you already have access to, right? And taking yourself and writing your grants into your existence. You know, this is the key that you need. My brother always really hits it on the head, just putting us back into power. Just recognizing that it's on us to be able to take control of our faith and the way that we utilize our money, man. So I just want to give kudos to you for just empowering the people with the financial knowledge and really taking them to the next level with that.
I appreciate you, man. We ain't gonna leave them with empty handed. So I'm gonna move this off the screen. I'm gonna give them some AI to help them out in life. There you go. Yeah, be to screenshot the list.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Matter of fact, better yet, I will put it up in the back part of it, but it wouldn't be able to see it that way. Let me
I
flip
see
it
a part
for
of it. I
y'all.
can actually you can put it other way so I can maybe read a little part of it. Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
see it. It's
Oh,
kind
I
of.
got you.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There
I
we
see
go.
it. Yeah, I see it in there. Yeah.
Remember, hit your screenshots on it.
Oh yeah, I see monolith, mind, body, ID. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the sauce. Yeah, I already hit. Let me hit that screenshot on it. Hit that screenshot. You just hit it. Yep. Make sure y'all get that information. This is the BYB Hive. And this is part
Yeah.
of because again, there's a lot of information that we want to talk about. I know my bro talking about PE ratios, talking about the fundamentals, talking about the technicals, talking about the RSI, talking about the MACD, talking about being able to a lot of things that can take us to the next level. And so it can be a lot for one person, but don't worry, you don't have to do this by yourself. Join our BYB trading community, our BYB trading group. Our brother Ivan is one of our master traders, is our lead master trader, right? I'm the master trainer, training you all to take it to the next level. You know what I mean? And so we are in tandem. We're going to be doing lives like this every Friday, right? And so we just gave you a week in the review. And so we're going to end in a week ahead. So tell the people, we're going to end on telling the people what are some of the plays that you're telling them in the week ahead to look out for. I know in the group chat you was talking about Chewy. talk to him about some other things that maybe you think you should talk about as well.
Catalysts for the week. Um,
No pressure, no pressure. I think he might have froze my bro out. Let me see. Let me make sure he's still there with us. Yeah, he's still there with us. Cool, cool.
yeah, can you hear me?
Hear you, buddy.
Yeah, BBAI is a good play right now.
Hey, BBAY,
BBAI,
BBA,
BBAI.
BBAI. That's a good play.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, BBAI is definitely going to keep going. So, it just caught a government contract, and it's with artificial intelligence. So, you should definitely be looking into artificial intelligence right now.
Hey, that's good, man. And I guess why is artificial intelligence for the people who don't even know what that is important in this season? If you don't mind us asking.
Because the world is transitioning from physical to digital, all the way full adoption level. So everybody that gets in a little earlier and starts to learn the curve now won't get left behind. If you do, you're going to be left behind.
Talking
So
that fact.
just to give a clear indicator of it. So like move out the screen a little bit.
That's cool.
As you see those in the screen, that's the president currently. He'll be here for 4 years. Everything in that chart is around the people in his cabinet. Everything there is digital. Not one thing there is based off of physical. It is all digital. So you fare to bear the benefit of getting in on learning how this AI works, learning how to use AI agents, learning how to use the AI tools, and learning how to invest in what is the digital mainframe of cryptocurrency, understanding that it will be the same rails as what you look at as the dollar.
Mhm. That's big, bro. That's big, bro. That's so big. Because it's just a lot of times that there's so much fear around what is new. To your point that we were talking about earlier, that sometimes we're even right now just talking about investing on these technologies by investing in the companies, but taking to your point, taking it a step further is leveraging the technologies for yourself. Whether it's using the AI tools, using the actual Chat GPT to help different trades, to help confluence or profluence, we like to say, because we're turning all these cons into pros. Being able to verify your trades on different levels is so critical. So that was such a big gain there. It's just being able to make sure that we are taking it serious and actually being early adopters, because we literally get rewarded for being able to be early adopters of the technology. And so the sooner that we get over that fear, the sooner we get rewarded in real life, because that's so critical. So that was so big, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Just spreading the information, giving back to the people. It's not as hard as they be thinking. I started with $600 and got to 100,000 in like I think it was about 3 months. It was in a bull market though, so caveat there. But that's why they say, yo, you don't gotta be smart to make a lot of money in a bull market. You just gotta have conviction. So as long as you ain't the one person jumping around playing 13 different stocks and or 13 different plays because you're trying to catch a piece of everything. If you just load up on one thing, or even two things, if you that indecisive, the point is you're gonna make a lot more money faster that way than you will trying to do the diversification. Diversification is for when you actually got money. That's like buying a house. I tell people, they be like, I need to buy a house. Yeah, you need to get some money first. They're like, yeah, I got the money to buy the house. That's not actually money. Like, you just gonna
Straight up.
slow drip the money back to yourself. Like, the money is in a house is so you can protect the money because you got so much. So when you get into hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars, then it's like, you know what? Let me go buy a house because this makes sense. That's why they take loans out to go get the leverage against their own money. They'll have 40, 50 grand and they'll go to the bank and take out about 600, 700,000 and get a bit, these, corporate people, they'll get the bigger house, but then they'll take the equity out of that house and go play the stock market. If you're not going to actually invest the money from the house, don't buy no goddamn house. That's a horrible investment.
Yeah, and to your point too, because then you even got to consider the property taxes too on everything, man. Because stop paying the property taxes, how much is the house really yours anyway? You know.
Look, wait, that ain't even, that's just the back end of it. Wait till you get into the real meat and potatoes of it. I tell people the best story I think you could look at is with 50 Cent, where he was saying when he bought Mike Tyson's house. I think it was Mike Tyson's house. He was like, yo, they sent me a bill for 100. No, they sent me a bill for 1.5 million. I said, for what? Like, look, I'm looking at the thing, I'm thinking in my mind, like, for what? He said, for the lawn care. I said, "Oh, nah." He said, "That's when I knew it was over. There's no reason for me to have a house that I gotta pay $1.5 million to maintenance the lawn. Like, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a big ass area."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, that's per year." So he was like, "You got to think
Hey,
about it like that. If you buy a $400,000 house, you need to make at least $200,000 a year to be able to cover that shit."
my G, talk about profluence. That's the third time this week that I've been directed into think about lawn care. Cause you remember me back in the neighborhood, man. I used to run
Yeah,
that little lawn care business. That talk to people,
nah,
man.
that's a fact. He came a long way. Came a long way.
Ain't that shit funny now? Hindsight, everything. Like now that I think about it, like yeah, we used to be out there, bro. Real talk with our different lawnmowers. And so that's the third time this week I've heard that. I even was further confirmed that with the tariff talks, because I didn't from one of the reads I realized that Canada produces a large majority of the timber that America uses. And so, even just us getting into the lumber industry in this period, especially if they're expecting tariffs on that particular product, is such a lucrative industry. So, definitely, if you keep your ear to the streets in terms of processors, whether out there on the east or especially down here on the south on Houston, let me know because yeah, we're looking to move more shipping, more drone, more big supply chain. More big supply chain for the people because everybody is definitely looking to have more material, more raw material, especially.
Yeah, I would even say keep it even go as a little simpler. Textiles is a good thing to look into. A lot of people just don't be looking into like the buying a cotton because
Mm,
it's like
good.
socks, t-shirts. You get them a lot cheaper buying it direct. That's how they upsell those charges in the store. You might go into a store, a designer store, they charging you $45 for a t-shirt, or even at a bare minimum $5 for a t-shirt. What if it was only like 37 cent or 47 cent per t-shirt? Then you understand why they selling it for $5 because they getting a whole 400% markup on it, the product that they selling to you. So if
Mm.
you step outside the realms of buying from them and you step around them and buy from the source, you could do the same thing. Shouts out to Alibaba.
Facts. They coming around too. I heard that might even be a second play. I heard people to look out to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, never count China out. I tell people, look at it like detractors. If if you say right now you're about to start a business and everybody's like, oh, okay, cool, maybe that's not a good business. If you say, yo, I'm going to start a business, and they're like, yo, I don't, that's not going to work, yo. I don't think that's going to work. That's probably a good business. I know that
right.
sounds crazy.
It's real
But
tough.
when people have an invested interest in something that doesn't have a vested interest in them, it's fair to pay attention more because that means that they are paying attention to you. So when the government is telling you don't invest, you probably should invest. When the government is telling you you need to invest, you probably shouldn't be investing. They don't fear the benefit for you; they fear the benefit off of you. So if you know that's the game they play, just reverse the roles on them.
That's good, bro. That's good, bro. That's good, bro. Dropping that knowledge, dropping that college. And I think to that point, there's a lot of XPEV to your point of never count the Red Army out. You know what I mean? That's one to look into. We're also looking into. I think the another great safe play that you called out that I've definitely been on is SoFi. Definitely SoFi. SoFi is a great one for people to always look out for. But, we call out more plays on our BYB Hive. We break it down into our master class as well as also our beginners class. And so, if you are interested or if you have any questions on this process, do not suffer in silence. We come from a community where we gathered, we hunted, and we gathered as a community, and we farmed as a community, agriculture as a community, and so those times are still here, and those times are coming back into our forefront. It's just now through digital means, digital stargates, digital portals, and things of that nature for us to electronically medium through. And so it's critical that we don't get left behind. And so, to your point, it's critical too that we are being a different type of AI, not just artificial, but advanced intelligence. That's what we always say. Make sure you're being advanced intelligence. And the way to be advanced intelligence is to my brother's point that he's been dropping the entire time, making sure that you're controlling your emotional intelligence. Because if you're not controlling your emotional intelligence, then your emotional intelligence is controlling you, right? You got to be able to stay firm in the seat, in the fire of those moments, whether it be through your relationships, or whether it be through your business, whether it be through your love life. And that's also one big thing I also got to call out, as again, I got to call out to one of our sponsors, being my wifey, our lead attorney. We're doing big with our Lovepreneurs package. I know my brother over here is big on the lovepreneurships. We're
Definitely
all
good stuff.
lovers.
Good
You already
stuff.
know we're all lovers and entrepreneurs. And so, what our goal this year is to create more lovepreneurs. And so we have packages for singles as well as couples. And so it's less for couples for us to encourage more couples to come out and actually make sure that they learn together, that they work together, that they invest in their purpose together, because that just makes everything easier when you can explain what you do to your partner, and your partner can not only understand what you do, but they can add to it and add value in a way that no one else can. It also eliminates the friction in communication because a lot of times we have to then give our time off to other forces or other bosses of that nature instead of us cultivating that relationship and communication within our household. So that's our big push in this online portal we're going back into again into 2025 for us to really do more streaming. That's why we're already starting off the year more streaming. So again, I appreciate you, my good bro, IQ Heavy, for coming through.
I'm just
Drop,
gonna I'm gonna make sure you get rich. So if you tuned
amen,
in,
bro. You already
you're
know.
gonna get
Eh,
you're gonna get to the bag. So we keep it modest, but at
come on,
the end
man.
of the day, the call outs is the call outs, and they're gonna take you to exactly where you're trying to get to. So I
Amen,
mean,
bro.
you could choose to not tune in. You could choose to just jump in and get the trade signals. You could choose to jump in and just follow the trend. I'm not a financial advisor, so at the end of the day, definitely gotta give y'all the disclaimer. But at the end of the day, the plays that I'm putting out, they doing 100, 300%. Listen, I just jumped into a play last night about 1 in the morning. You could check the credits. If you think I'm capping. I believe Tiger T Raw. Yeah, no, everybody know him as Tiger T Raw. He put out a coin. This is in the crypto space. He put out a meme. I jumped in the meme. It went crazy. It jumped up to over 25 million. We listen, the call outs is crazy. Once you end the discourse and you end the BYB, the call outs is a lot more different. So the information you'll be getting right now is more sort of value. So you learning, you catching on, but the planning aspect of it is what you want to, we're gonna have a plan around it. So for a year straight, you're gonna be making money. And then next year you're gonna be making money, and then the next year you're gonna be making money because it's a community, it's a family. It's not a situation where You just jumping in for 2 seconds, and you can if you want, but I would recommend you stick around because, like I said, that Tiger play went from 0 to 25 million. I made a 10x off of what I put. I'm gonna just say that I made 10x. I don't really do figures with people because we don't want to make people feel away. So we like to just yo, you did five, you did 10. Oh, we know we made money, so we don't got to talk about the
Straight up.
actual amounts out here.
Straight up, bro. Straight up, bro. Straight up, bro. You dropping that knowledge, dropping that college. And this is my trading mentor. He's always dropping me the game because that's why it's easy for us to ask these questions here. Because bro is always dropping that truth, dropping those plays, and putting it ahead. And so that's our challenge. We're also doing our small account challenge. Really, to brother's point, I think the biggest game brother dropped on us was just making sure that we get our ratios right. You know what I mean? You like people's ratios are way off. They're putting almost $1,000 just to get $10 or to lose hundreds. Or to only get a couple hundreds, as opposed to making sure that you're catching the momentum of the plays. So whether it's one big thing we're on is point threes to point nines, right? And being able to be more comfortable with that flow, and ultimately, if depending on if there's resistance, then being comfortable with 30%, 20 to 30%, right? Because 20 to 30% usually does the play usually does that on a consistent basis. Is one thing I'm really noticing. When it gets over to the 100%, it sometimes takes a little bit longer. And so I was pretty much telling them the play that you were talking about, just making sure that our ratios are right when we're trading. It seems
Oh
like because
yeah, yeah, that reward ratio. You want to make sure you at least shooting a 1 to 3. I tell people if you put out $900 and you got back, you made 200. That was gambling. That was gambling. That's not investing. 'Cause I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. That's not a high probable setup, and you're probably going to eventually take a hard loss. Because remember, you put out 900 to take the loss to gain 200. The way that's supposed to make sense is you maybe put out 100, and the possibility is to get back 5 to 900. Now we got a good risk to reward ratio because if we lost 100 where it could have made 900, and I don't mean, you know, you saying some overnight stuff where it's to the moon. I'm saying something realistic. So when people are looking for this 100% gain, you got to also make it a realistic thought process. What's your time frame?
mm,
Like, what's your entry? What's your exit? You got to have a strategy. At least have a plan for your exit when you're getting in. And I don't mean to one side. Everybody's strategy is I'm getting in at 7, yo, and I'm gonna sell when it gets to 11. Okay, well, what happens if 7 turns into 663 in 2 seconds? What are you gonna do then? And they go, um, I don't know. I'll wait for it to go back up. I said, okay. What if it don't? What do you do then? They said, I'm gonna sell it. Okay. So you bought it at $7 to sell it at 6? You bought it high to sell it low? What are you doing? I thought you wanted to make money. And they go, well, it was going the wrong way. So at that point I gotta cut my losses. And I go, you waited till you had to see yourself bleed out on the floor to ask for the ability to stop the blood? Why didn't you just set up a stop loss where if it dropped 3 cent, it would have got you out of the trade? They go, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So that's what I mean when I say you
so,
got a plan to be like, I'm gonna rob the bank. Well, what happens if the police show up like right then and there? Do you have a plan for that? Like at least plan and have an opposite to the other side of that plan. Well, you know what? If shit go left, this is what I'm prepared to do. And this is how I'm gonna move in that situation. Because that's when you'll actually be a good trader because you'll be able to fare both sides of something you didn't have control over. We got Donald Trump in office right now. Any given moment, he could tweet some crazy shit, and it's sorry, sorry, he could tweet something crazy, and things are going to change up real fast, like they did with the markets when he decided that he was doing those tariffs on Canada.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we have to be in tune of, is just making sure that we're not letting emotion rule our decisions, that we're staying firm with our trading plan and being able to cut losses soon. So even just taking that day trade, even if it's the day trade and the loss, is better than the loss of the money. Got to protect the capital. Being able to place the capital, or capital placement, is literally everything. And so that's what I'm seeing. Is just because to your point, even if you've lost on one play, there's always a new play, and there's always new plays happening, even within that same play that you probably just lost in. And so it's just about you just coming back to the table, figuring out which type of setup you're looking for. And it's better to use the strategy or the setup that is in proportion, or in flow with the direction, the momentum, that current stock is going, as well as also the
Yeah.
broader market and the sentiment of that particular market.
Always check the market sentiment. So I tell people at 8 o'clock at night, the future's open. Look at the futures market. If the futures market is going green, probably gonna have a good day tomorrow. You could check again at 6 in the morning. So if it's still green, that's a double confluence. We're probably gonna be bullish. If you see it open at 8 o'clock at night and it's red, and then it opens up as you see it at 6 in the morning, it's still red. Confluences, we're gonna be bearish. So the sentiment is already usually baked in. You just got to know where to look. So a
Mm,
lot of the market is just not where to look. So it's like indicators. You look at the VIX if you want to see where the volatility index is for the market. You can use the SPY to gauge the market to figure out where stocks might go or up or down. But if that VIX is above 20, or I would say above 25, you're going to be feeling pain. If that VIX is below 20, things are going to feel good. It's going to be dovish. The market's going to be your friend. That's how the market works. So you could use those broader indices to look at the smaller indices. So when you open up the markets at 8 o'clock at night and you look at the futures, and you see it's green. If you get a confluence in the morning for green, you're gonna make some money. And if it's red, you still can make some money. You play puts to the downside. You short the stock, and you just look for the
okay.
level that it came from last.
Oh, this is so good, man. This is so good, man. Hope y'all like, sharing, and subscribing. I hope y'all are taking notes. I hope y'all are taking mental notes. I hope y'all are writing down the plays, because I'm telling you, this is about being able to take control of your financial future, man. We got to be able to buy our time back. We got to be able to stop trading our time, because actually that was what I wanted to share with the people. My brother said it the best. You are already traders. You're already trading your time. And to my brother's point, you're it's the wrong capital ratio. We're using our life. We're trading our life for dollars, you know, for cheap dollars, as opposed to utilizing that dollar itself to get another dollar. I always say now is like, my dollar got to come back with friends. I'm talking about. My dollar got to come back
Fact.
with employees. You feel me? My dollar got to come back, hungry. My dollar got to come back with assets. I just put my dollar out to work. Too many people aren't putting their dollars out to work, is what I'm understanding and seeing now. And more specifically, more than anything than investing in these companies, the next level of the growth for us to be our very best is starting to put that dollars in ourselves. More specifically, our ideas, the same amount of dollars, because we can create the next Palantirs, we can create the next Teslas, the next Apples, the next AMDs, the next Nvidias, if we focus our mind on the task, right? We can't do everything, but we don't have to. What we have to do is our part and our role, and the situation will create itself. So we just have to start to focus on what we're already good at. So these are one of the things that we're my good brother Ivan's already good at, helping us make money. So we want to give him a round of applause where he's at, because he took time out to drop the game. So make sure y'all replay this back. This is to be your best university. And so before we close out, brother, leave the people on some emotional intelligence. Also talk to the divine masculines, because again, one thing that we're big on in this channel is bringing that real masculinity back, where we are prouder, to be able to make our money for ourselves, stand for ourselves, and be able to be clear that we do this for our families and be able to learn in community, right? Because not enough men are learning this process of money together. We're suffering in silence, and so we have to break that silence by speaking and communicating and sharing our pains. To my brother's point, we had to take some losses. We're taking losses currently, as well as also the wins. The beautiful thing about trading is you may even still lose more, and yet your wins will still outpace your losses, even if you've lost more. You know, it's like, kind of like the same analogy with basketball when they say, I was taking so many shots. Michael Jordan missed so many shots, or Kobe Bryant, to be more exact, missed so many shots. But ultimately, you know what I mean? You make more, or you made enough to still be able to be the Hall of Fame, be one of the greatest. And so, talk to the people about what they need to do to be their very best. Because again, that's what we do here on BYB, is making sure we transform our people to their very best. And I think they got the audio on. You can it might be because of the headphones. Try it again. It might be the little headphones. You might take them off. It might be messing the sound up. I don't know if you can hear me.
There you go.
There you go. Perfect, perfect. Talk to the people. Talk to the people. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I said I guess I would say transparency more so. Just being more transparent, having the people around you be transparent, you being transparent with the people around you, because it leads you to the point that you get to those points that get you to the next plateau. So, having accountability, working out, making sure you taking mental reps versus physical reps. A lot of times you can think it out before you actually physically make the motion. You can write it out before you actually do the thing. That's a task. So it's the planning aspect of it. So as far as the growth, I would say as far as growth for yourself, it's just realizing that you don't gotta be perfect. You don't gotta get every trade right. You don't gotta get this shit overnight. You can start right now and that's good enough. You just gotta start. Once you start, that's part of the journey, part of the process. You don't think about the times that you get knocked down, because it's more about the times you get back up. I started with a small account and I grew it from a small account to a medium account, from a medium account to a large account. There's times where I had drawdowns of over 60, 70,000 at a time. I'll even, like I said, transparency. But I got all of that back because of adversity and having the ability to stay what we preach in BYB, which is a CCC. Being consistent in that situation, staying committed, and in these situations, that's what you want to make sure you use it. You don't use them all. You don't use all of the seeds. You gotta use two of them because you come in correct in those situations. So
Amen. And
that's
that's how you take care.
yeah. It's like the care part come with the God in you, because at that point you believing in yourself and never giving up and stand through the adversity. That's when the God presence comes. So the care factor don't even be what you have to do for yourself. It's something in you, something around you with the transparency to uplift you. Because that's when the next person next to you will see that, hey, if you just tweak this will make everything work for you. And you'll be like, yo, I didn't even know that. But that's the journey of the full circle. So when you stay consistent and you stay on the journey and you didn't leave that task, even though that path was hard, you may not even learn what you needed to learn to get to that next level. Someone else may have learned it and they're willing to tell you. And now you receive it because of the care factor. You care to listen versus say, you don't know what you're talking about, or castrating out another person because you might be in frustration of not getting to where you want to go in your goals. Um, just
That's
being
so big.
big on
That's so
that
big.
understanding.
Keep cooking. Keep cooking. Yeah, because that was so big. The pinch you just dropped, man. Keep cooking on that.
Yeah, no, I said just being. That's more like I said, just being in the moment, remembering why you're doing what you're doing, If it's to help you or if it's to help somebody else. If it's to help yourself, it's pretty selfish. So shit probably ain't gonna work out for you too much anyway. But if you're doing it for the right purposes to help other people, and that's all you got to be is transparent. Tell them where you fell, where your shortcomings is, and the things you learn last. I would say teach first, because that's how they
Mm.
get out of the valley.
That's good. The things you learn last, teach first. That's good. That's good, man. That's it. Really, what I'm saying is very key because that's actually what I was definitely gonna end on too, man. That's how you know this was a great live because you can feel the value just from us talking it out right here. You know, so I already know that when somebody watches this on the next replay, it's gonna be nothing but value for them. So on that note, we want to close out. This is BYB. This is Be Your Best University. Make sure you all are being your best, taking yourself above the rest, and you will pass the test. I am your host, Michael Rafani X. This is my boy, Ivan Smith, Master Trader, taking us to the next level. Be here locked in next Friday. We're going to be doing this every Friday, 5:30 on Central, 6:30 Eastern. Locked in, BYB Investment Talks, where we're going to be talking it up. So make sure y'all comment any other plays that we missed. Say it again, Brody.
My plays on Facebook, IQ Heavy.
Yeah, heavy, baby. You know, and follow that IQ heavy and jump onto that Discord where we also got it all laced out, got it all focused up for you to be taking yourself to the next level. You know what I'm talking about? And so make sure you focus on yourself. Make sure you focus on your family, that collective hive mindset. Make sure you focus on your queen bees because we not worker bees, we not hive bees, wasp bees without taking care of our queen hive. Take care of that matriarch in your life. Make sure you are focused on being a lovepreneur, not just an entrepreneur. That's our big thing we're talking about on this month of February Valentine. Make sure you're a lovepreneur. Make sure you take yourself to the next level. Make sure you talk about our sponsors. Man, we're gonna keep going, man, because this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? This is BYB. And on that note, we out. Yeah.